Senator, we said the local government chairmen as they are now,
Yeah.
you see a man who used to drive one car and lives in a flat. He becomes a local government chairman, and in a space of 3-4 months, or okay, let's just say a year, owns like multiple mansions across the state and across the country, and indeed outside the country, and has multiple cars, surrounded by security men, all that. They become lords within themselves,
Yeah.
and nobody can approach them anymore. And you say with this new structure, if it goes through, this will change.
Now, let me answer that by saying that the system is already skewed in favor of corrupt people in Nigeria. And that is what is a major problem. The moment we begin to say enough is enough, like we are saying in Nigeria, voices are beginning to rise. Look at what Mr. President did yesterday. Ordinarily, some people are saying that according to the Constitution, he has no powers to sack somebody. Supposing they sack that person, what would the people be saying on social media today? I believe there is room to put your feet down and say enough is enough. If people at the federal level, at the state level, are not giving such examples, they are not living in such manner, how can a local government, who would that local government chairman be emulating? So it's already skewed and wrong from the top. The moment we begin to change our psyche, that look, this is government money. It is our money. You need to show responsibility and give account. If there's no accountability and somebody commits a crime, he runs away, or he can't even get, the court now comes around to say, okay, we have exonerated this man, so he can go back to business as usual. So when you see such things happening, why would you? Look at some of us who try to live a very reasonable, medium lifestyle. When you start reading about mind-boggling theft, you start wondering. So this is the influence that has made those local government chairmen to live the way they are living without question. Now, everybody knows that we need to. There's social media. All these people are able to see what cities in America look like, what cities in Europe look like. Why are we not living like that? We're beginning to ask questions. Some coming to Abuja, they see the difference between where they live and what is happening in Abuja. And this is still within Nigeria. So people are beginning to ask questions. It is the people. It's not, we have to make our laws to work. We have to force these people to make it work.
Let's talk about participation and the laws working. Now, from what the National Assembly has done, INEC is going to handle all local government elections. And there are those who believe that this will work. But how would that affect the issue of devolution of powers?
That has been boggling my mind since yesterday myself. Every time I try to celebrate this, but I know we have this fire brigade approach to resolving issues. Every time we see a problem, we come up with a policy to resolve that isolated problem. Mm-hmm. The problem at hand is that the governors have constituted themselves to the laws of the manor. There is no governor today, either in APC or PDP, who will run a local government election and will not rig and win. They will just write it. But with this now, we will resolve that problem until this country becomes more stable politically. Then we can begin to agitate for devolution of such electoral acts to the states. As it is now, it's been with the states, but there's been a lot of responsibility in the way local government elections have been conducted in the past up to now. It's not one party. It's all the parties. It's not a question of whether I'm APC or I'm PDP or whatever. If I'm a governor, of course I want to show that I'm popular. But it's inbuilt already that an opposition cannot win a local government election.
Who
when
built
it's the
it
governor. It's an accepted culture now. Because when you look at it, come to think of it, when one PDP man won in Lagos State under Fashola, I think, it was unheard of. The guy lost, he lost in the court. It's every governor would ensure that they win the local government election. That is what has been happening. They manipulate, they appoint the SEC, the state electoral people, and they just write the results. Of course, in Nigeria was like that before at the federal elections until some sanity started coming in and we start talking about electronic registration. In the past, people would just go and register with canals and start putting their fingerprint, replicated fingerprint with canals. So we are improving by the day. We need to have what we call the determination to make this country work. It's not one man's responsibility. This policy will help the people for now, but it is against the principle of devolution. Mm-hmm. But we need to resolve this problem. And the only way it can be resolved is to have an umpire, just like the INEC, to ensure that we see a sort of sanity in the electoral process.
There are those who are
levels.
questioning the independence of INEC.
Yes.
How independent is INEC if the appointment of the chairman and the resident electoral commissioners is done by the president? How then is INEC independent? Well,
when you look at it, the Constitution vests the powers for appointment on the presidency, even the appointment of the Chief Judge of the Federation. If you submit names, if he doesn't like one or two, can say bring another person. So that is the Constitution. That is not where the problem is. It's not the appointment of the person. It is the individual that you put there. Yeah, it's how the person sees his responsibility and how he handles it. That he knows he holds not only posterity, that responsibility. I mean, Jega was there. He was appointed by Jonathan. But we had an election, and he stood his ground that the election will hold. So there is nothing new there. It's not about who appoints. It's about the person. Can this president that we know call a NEC chairman and say, go and read for me? We know he won't. We know his personality. We understand him. That is why Nigerians believe in the man. So it's not about who appoints. So I think, for me, the INEC is independent to the level they want to be independent. Because now we're talking of electronic voting. Once that comes, and as you place your fingerprint on this machine, it counts your vote. And if you have voted once, it rejects you. You can't do it again.